You know, the thing about family is, you don't get to pick 'em. Taeyang said, his eyes focused on the TV. His words were casual. But the way his jaw clenched and unclenched told me he wasn't talking about the latest reality show drama. I sat cross-legged on the couch, flipping through a magazine, not really paying attention. You're not still hung up on the wedding, are you? I teased, hoping to lighten the mood. He took a Euro PBRE at TH before turning to me, his gaze intense. No, it's not about the wedding. He let Ned see Alocir, his cologne fa. And T whisper in the air, it's about my brothers-in-law. They've been giving you looks, and it's not right. Looks? What looks? I tried to laugh it off, but his expression didn't budge. He was serious. They're not just looking, they're ogle. NG, he said, his voice dropping an octave V. And it's not like I can tell them to stop. ISW at load HRD, my heart racing. I knew there was $10 iron between Taeyang and the new additions to our family, but I had no idea it was like this. The age gap between us was only 5 years, but it might as well have been a chasm in their eyes. Taeyang's gaze traveled over my bide, and for a moment, I felt like I was the one being dis-Euro-kid. You're too young, too innocent for their games. My eyes searched his, trying to read the unspoken words. Was he just being protective, or was there something else behind his concern? I felt a strange H-Euro at CR P up my NCK. I can handle myself, I said, trying to sound more confident than I felt. He let Ned back, RK playing on his L. P.S. I know you can, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let them get away with it. The room grew quiet, the only sound the hum of the TV and the pounding of my pulse in my ears. His words hung in the air. A promise of something I wasn't quite sure I understood. What do you mean? I whispered, the magazine forgotten in my hands. I mean, I'll protect you, no matter what. He paused. But maybe it's time we gave them something to think about. The way he said it sent a TH pile through me. I didn't know what he had planned, but suddenly the air in the room was TH. CK with a $10 iron that had nothing to do with family drama. The next evening, Taeyang picked me up for a surprise dinner. Where are we going? I asked, excitement bubbling in my CHST. Somewhere they won't expect. He replied, his smile, Mr. Us. He was drive Euro said shop I ply, his hair styled to perfection, and the car we drove in was definitely not his usual ride. When we pulled up to an upscale Italian restaurant, I knew this wasn't just any dinner. The valet opened my door, and as I stepped out, the cool evening air key $$ at my SK, and the scent of fresh bread and garlic wafted from the restaurant, making my stomach rumble. Inside, the dim lighting and soft jazz music created a romantic atmosphere that was far from the casual hangouts we were used. Taeyang held my hand as we walked to our table, and I couldn't help but feel like the most important person in the room. As we sat down, his brothers-in-law were already there, looking less than THR led. Their eyes roved over me, and I felt ASH. Verov, Aprit Euro Henshin, but then Taeyang lay at Ned in close and whispered in my ear, tonight, we set the record straight. The tension between us grew with every bite of food, every sip of wine, and when Taeyang's hand brushed against my TH. GH, I realized what he meant. He was CLA. Ming me right here, right now, in a way they couldn't interpret. I looked into his eyes, and for the first time, I saw something different, a fierce Prit Euro CT. Venice, yes, but also something else, Dairy. The meal was a dance of unspoken tension, our forks and knives clinking against the fine china like a symphony of unspoken warnings. The brothers-in-law tried to keep their eyes off me, but every now and then, I'd catch a furtive glance, only to be met with Taeyoung's cold stare that sent them scurrying back to their plates. I played along, listening into his TUCH and letting the Washington pie empty of his hand seep through my dress, my bidu, responding in ways that said even me. As dessert arrived, a decadent chocolate lava cake, Taeyoung took Chapaisi, he grbed my spoon and fed me a bite, his eyes never lay at vang mine as the sweetness melted on my T0 ingui. The air was THCK with the scent of day re, and it was clear that this was no longer just about sending a message. His thumb brushed the corner of my youth, catching a rogue drop of chocolate, and I couldn't help but GSP. The room seemed to spin, the heat between us growing more ironies with every pietzing second. The brothers-in-law shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their eyes darting between us. The older one, Jungkook, cleared his throat loudly, trying to break the spell. So, Tae, he said, his voice a forced casualness. How's work been? Taeyoung's smile was like a Xiaopai pen knife. Work's been great, JK. But I've been a bit pre-zero Cupid lately. He paused, his gaze NG Euro ring on my zero youth with family matters. The younger Himin lay Ned back in his chair, a knowing SM. RK playing on his LPS. Ah, yes, family. So important, he said, his eyes raking over me with ABL attant disregard for propriety. The tension grew unbearable. GHTC0IL in my stomach that was part fear, part excitement. I could feel Taeyoung's muscles tense beside me, his hand GHT running around my TH. GH, the moment stretched out, and then, as if on cue, he lay at Ned and key $$ at me, his L. PS, demanding and sure. The room fell away, and all I knew was the taste of chocolate and the feel of him against me. When we finally BR0K apart, the table was silent. The brothers-in-law's jaws had dropped, their eyes with CH0CK, the message had been sent LUD and clear. Taeyoung had CLA met me in the most primal of ways, and they could no longer see me as anything but his. The car ride home was a mix of awkward silence and palpable need. Taeyoung's hand remained on my THGH, his thumb making small, lazy circles that had my BR hit copywriting in my CHST. I could feel the weak GT of his G at Z, even in the darkness. Finally, he spoke, his voice gruff. You okay? More than okay, I murmured, my voice THCK with the $IR, the line between protective and pause $Euro civ had blurred, and I found myself at vang more of whatever this was. He pew at the car into my driveway, the headlights cutting through the night. I need to talk to you, he said, his eyes searching mine. But not here. We ended up at his place, the lights low and the air THCK with the promise of what was to come. He Euro'd me to his bedroom, and I didn't protest, my B2 already singing with anti-copyright passion. When we re-shed the bed, he stopped, his hands cupping my face. I know this is weird, he whispered, but I can't ignore it anymore. What can't you ignore? I breathed, my eyes locked on his. You, he said simply before crushing his LPS to mine again. This key $$ was different from the one in the restaurant. The Euro per more, you pie gent. His hands row up med my B0 do, and I felt his need, his the $IR, his CLA, and I wanted it, all of it. We stumbled onto the BD, a tangle of limbs and $$ iron, clothes were discarded in a hurry, the fabric whispering secrets of what was to come. Taeyoung's key $S were like fire, burning a path. The zero when my NCK, across my collarbone to the swell of my BRE at STS. I air copyright head into him, my skin alive with the heat of his TUCH. His hands SK med over my B0 dir, lay at earning every kupive, every D. P his F ingert, PSDR at CD the lacy edges of my L. Anger, E sending CH, verse D0 when, my SP, NE. I could feel his arousal pressing against my TH. GH, and the thought of him wanting me so badly made me wet. Tay, I breathed, my voice a plea. He took it as the invitation it was. His M-youth moving lower, key dollaring the soft SK, and of my stomach, his T-ingua FL. Sking over my N at vellum, I mo at Ned, my H, PS book copyright King Aga, NST. His S he re-ad shed the TP of my TH, GHS. He H O cad his F, angers in the L at C of my PN ties and tuck them. DWNEXPO sing me to the cool air, his eyes D at reckoned as he took in. The sight of me spray at D out before him, you're so beautiful, he murmured, his BR Euro of HT against my skin. He key dollar ed me there, S0 fly at first, and then with more urgency, I. WR at PP ed my L Euro G's around his shoulders, PU ing him CL sear, needing. More dot his T ingua danced over my CL T, T at sing and T at unting until. I was P-enting my NALSDGG NG into the B Euro DSBR Euro ad. The world outside of Taeyang's room C at SED to exist. There was only the sound of our BRE at THSM. Angling, the feel of his T-ingua and the pre-dollar euro of his M-youth. My B-do was a live wire, every TH, sending sparks flying. When he finally slid a F, anger ends. Demi, IG at sped, my eyes rolling, back in my head. He M0 ved slow, tear usly so, as if he was severing. Every moment, I could feel myself geetining AR and him. The Euro SP Euro rate for more, for everything he had to give. Please, I be Euro gauged, not sure what I was asking for but an Euro ding it. He answered by adding another F. Anger, STR Euro T copyright hing me open, making me ready for what was to come. Taeyang Piu at away, his eyes dark with day. Ray, he re-at shed for his .p at NTS, his hand shaking SL, GHTLY. I watched, my heart racing, as he FRD himself. He was beautiful, every in copyright H of him, I re-at shed. Out my hand WR at PPing around his LNGTH and he GR anid, his H, PSG Pi King. He key dollar ed me again, hard and DP, and I could ta hashtag the day re-in, his M-youth. You're mine, he said, his voice AGRW, mine to protect. Mine to cherish yours, I whispered back, my eyes never leaving his. I didn't know where this was going, but I knew I wanted it, all of it. He positioned himself at my NT or at NCE, and I felt ATH pi L of fear end. Exc tement, we were see our sing a line that could never be Anchor said. But as he PU section head-ins. To me, the fear melted away, leaving only play at sure. He M0 ved slowly, letting me adjust to his S, Z, each steamer 0 kawaze. The copyright lar at Tyan, a promise that no one else would ever have me like this, RBOD. SM0 ved in SNC, the $10 iron building with, every TH pi used. Our eyes L0 seeked, and I saw the RW emotion in his gaze. This wasn't just about CLA. Ming me in front of his brothers-in-law. This was about us, about what we had been pretending not to feel for so long. As we re-chat our PK, RBOD. ST at angling together, I knew that nothing would ever be the same. The bond we shared went beyond the typical family ties. We had CR set a line, but in that, moment, it felt like the most natural thing in the world. The world outside of us, she each entered into a million pi euro seas as we. Clim at XED together. RBR Euro ats mingling in the coup. Out of the night, we yell at why there, pant. NG and spent, the we, GT of what we had just. Done settling, he had Vili on our shoulders. But as I looked into Taeyang's eyes, I knew that we would face it together, whatever came next. Because in that moment, we were more than just family. We were something wild, something Fiora Reese, something all our own. And nothing, not even the mafia, could tear us apart.